good?
What's up, buddy? We met
I didn't know if I
before.
was supposed to look at the camera or not. All right. So, you want to go in there? Or?
You want to go upstairs? Or where? In that little room in the back?
Is upstairs good enough?
It's got a good light. It's got a good mirror. It's got space at least. So it's definitely better than the posing room.
In your mind, whatever you see, you have to trust and understand it's distortion at best. You know what I mean? So if it's good or not as favorable as you'd like it, you know, just knowing that when you start with this light source,
right,
you know, you're already working in shadows. So it's already not. So what you're going to be seeing is not
a reflection
of exactly what's going on. The closer you can get to that would be that white light, you know, before this partitions are built. But so whatever light source that you're using to check your condition and stuff needs to be better than this. That's all.
Which is what, yeah, I have a very brutally honest light that I use for my checking pictures.
Yeah. So.
There's a mirror in here.
Maybe this is a better. You stand.
Like this is the standard of bodybuilding, searching for good lighting.
Yeah.
In a hotel room, the gym.
If you stand here, turn to the right. Quarter turn to the right. Quarter turn to the right. Quarter turn to the right. Relax. How you feel?
Tired? Okay.
Not yet. You don't want to be tired yet. But catch your breath. Your show is
A week.
Yeah. So
I got a little bit of fat left.
okay. So technically, like a lot of times when people are posing this, there are different goals, different reasons to even go through this process. One, conditioning and stuff is one thing that we may talk about for what it looks like. You know, how much fat I have, but this is that. How dry am I looking at? And then there's separate from that, there is mechanics, and you know, going through the checklist that allows you to tweak your process of showing. You know, that now has nothing to do with condition. How your condition looks today versus another 2 hours from now versus another 6 hours from now versus the time that you're on stage. So that's the part of this thing that I want to be able to at least think that I can kind of be like the most benefit, because technically there's a lot of things that you can do with a physique in 6 hours. There's a lot that you can do with a physique in 16 hours. You know, where you are in the process of what you are working, I don't really know. You know what I mean? You look great. You know, but that can be a double-edged sword, because for everything that I could think is great in the present tense, you may be like, well, shit, I have, you know, 16 other things that I'm supposed to do between now and the time that I step on stage that I believe will, and I'm confident will take my condition in the direction forward, or you know, the opposite.
Right.
So,
yeah, I mean, my goal is to learn as much from you about how to present my physique better. And utilize, I mean, your 20 plus years of posing knowledge. I mean, you're, you know, not to toot your horn or anything like that, but you're the top of the opposing,
Nah.
the top of the opposing totem, opposing totem pole.
We we could walk through some things that I think might have been helpful for me.
Okay.
And maybe you'll be able to take them on your own and see if it will be able to help you. I think that's like the better thing that I can offer today. I don't and not to say that anything that you're doing is bad to this point. You know, technically everything that I just saw you do is very technically efficient.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Thank you.
yeah. So
I've been practicing.
and it looks like that. First thing I would want to throw at you is that idea of, wow, tired. Fuck that. There's no time to be tired because you know there's already time invested, there's money invested, there's resources invested. You don't have a time. You don't really have, you know, the luxury of being tired now. And technically, this is the time to really just start working. You know what I mean? So everything you've done up until this point, the dieting, the training, you know, that's the so what. You know. And now, you know, usually when we seem to be, unfortunately, at our tiredest, is really when the work just begins, you know? So, that said, let's hit those, we got through those quarter turns. Let's see your shots, your mandatories.
So for classic, we don't do front relaxer or front lap, but I go through them anyways. Oh, just switch sides.
Dude, so technically, off the bat, you're catch your breath. Haha. Yo, man, you look great.
Thank you.
You look great. Your balance is really good. Your conditioning is great. Yo, what are you doing with your coloring though?
I go pretty dark to help with the tattoos.
Do you tan at all during the like the last 6 weeks for me? I would start tanning like every day. But I know some people have issues with their skin, and there are considerations that need to be made. You know.
I don't. I should. My problem is that during the hours of the day, I don't have time to make it in the sun. Tanning bed is something I'm kind of. I probably should have used a little bit more. I try to go to the beach like once a week, get some natural sunlight. But for the most part, I start the tanning process with Protan like a day early, so we really soak it in. I can show you stage shots wise, like. They do a good job of covering the tattoos, decent enough. Yeah.
You have great lines. You got great lines. Even muscle distribution, top and bottom, which is like funny because I never really recently paid attention to your legs, so I didn't know what to.
You know, I had them.
You
that's from years of doing your Jefferson squat, the workout. Yep.
Let's go back to your quarter turns.
Okay.
And let's work them a little bit. Open up, stay hard, and let's do this. Let's imagine that every pose starts from the floor up, right? So you want to plant your feet, bend your knees, tilt your pelvis, and begin to pull your knees to your chest. Open up and now start that checklist up here. You do that classically like a trained stage worthy bodybuilder already. You do that. It's very, very, very refreshing to see you go through that. You're doing that without me even saying it, which is dope. Let's hold this for 8 seconds. So let's open up, stay hard, drive those feet into the floor, and let's begin to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Quarter turn to the right. Now, relax on stage never really means relax. So when we say relax, we want to return back to that semi-relaxed pose that is still
tight.
All right.
There we go. I mean, stay hard.
As if you got ready, then you ain't got to get ready, right? Okay, from the floor up. Let's get it. 1, 2, 3, midsection, 4, external obliques, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Quarter turn to the right. Every pose starts from the floor up. Feel the floor beneath your feet. Drive those feet into the floor. Flex your hamstrings, glutes, spine erectors, lats, traps, rear delts, triceps. Now we begin to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Quarter turn to the right. Every pose starts from the floor up. Calves, quads, glutes, external obliques, chests, delts, triceps, traps, lats. Let's begin to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Quarter turn. Open up, stay hard. Now, abs are important all the time. All the time. And a big guy like you, we need to stay. One of the things that in my career I got knocked for was that letting it go. Don't let it go. Don't let it go. And when I try to think about, well, I gotta breathe, argument, right? What I remember a coach pointing out to me was, hey man, did you see Jay? There are very few photos, if you could ever be lucky to find one, where Jay Cutler is caught in between poses with his stomach distended. Right. I thought they were full of shit when they said that to me. I began to search for them. I was unsuccessful with the ability to find one. Right. Why am I saying this? Because, yo man, this was an example. A lot of people will hail him as being one of the greats of all time. And there was a time when my ego, that wants to win, wants to compete, would have said, I challenge that. Not better than me. But the truth is, because I couldn't find a single photo of him on stage after being asked to relax, where he let it go, what he was showing me was that there's a lesson in being outworked. So genetics can be what they are. Every athlete can say, well, this person has a wider clavicle, or this person has a smaller waist, or this person has. However, if you allow them to outwork you, or in this case, if you outwork them, that's to your advantage. Right. The race is not given to the swift, to the strong, but he that endures. So you already identified as a very smart, technical man. You got these things available to you. And when you get engaged in the combat on stage, your responsibility is to use every tool available to you to fight. This is one thing that is a skill. The tenaciousness and the will to fight. So I'm giving this, if you've never thought about it before, I'm saying it. You never, ever, 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 ever allow them to see you breathe. Okay. Just become that much more masterful in hiding it. Because that's all the motherfucker did to me. Because if I couldn't find a photo, he's a big man. You get what I'm saying? He's on stage at 270, 265. You can't. It's got to go somewhere. He's got to breathe. Everybody has a diaphragm. You can't stand there without a diaphragm and some lungs. That's a part of the system. It works.
You got gills.
Yeah, right, exactly. But that's what this is about. This is about
Making gills.
exactly. Because if you need not to be able to breathe, then because you worked so hard, the truth is that's what you're doing. When you're saying you did the diet and you did the training, you did the cardio, the idea of I don't have the energy is bullshit. Why? Because you make energy.
Comes from within. Yeah, if I can do cardio for 2 hours straight on 0 carbs and 0 fats, I can do posing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So let's get back to
I'll be
this.
posing with burgers and shit at me. So.
And that's another thing. So this is why, like right now, if you weren't paying attention to it before, if somebody says it to you, they're not hurting you. They're not trying to knock you. They're not trying to say, hey man, you pose like shit. What they're trying to do, technically, at least what I'm trying to do, is throw that at you because that's going to make you better, dude. If you're able to do the impossible, which is technically what we're doing,
Right.
the impossible. You just become that much more masterful at your craft. And the people that don't know, you've done the impossible. They can't even understand. They can't even begin to understand. And they don't need to. But anyway, all right.
Time to do the impossible.
I see your quads are cross-striated. You got a lot of condition going on in a lot of really interesting places. That what you do with your coloring is going to be very, very important because it's not just the issue of covering some of the tattoos as much as it also is because you got tremendous detail in some of these areas too that can become harder to see the further we get away and the poorer the lighting condition. You know what I mean? Sometimes that can help, sometimes that can hurt. In this case, you've done like if I were watching you in the gym right now, it'd be very hard to see how well conditioned and cross-striated your quads are. It's not so we're standing here under the shitty light and realize, oh shit, you do your quarter turns. There's things that are jumping out, and if this is you, decarbed and not necessarily,
2 gallons of water in.
through the last few steps of your process, the chances are, man, you're gonna look even more spectacular. Obviously.
I don't need that.
Well, so these things are going to be like really, really important. Let's get back to this standing up, opening up, staying hard. Front double bicep. From the floor up. Stay in the pose, but relax for a second. Catch yourself. And then contract everything from the floor up, 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 from the floor up. Now we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Don't relax. All right?
I'm vacuums.
Front lat spread. Open up. Nice. From the floor. From the floor up. From the floor up. From the floor up. From the floor up. Now relax, but don't move out of the pose. Relax. Catch your breath. And now, in the pose, nail everything from the floor up, 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 from the floor up. Now we begin to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. But don't relax. Don't relax. Smile. Yes, show me some fucking teeth. We want this. Yes?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. We smile. We smile.
I'm happy to be here.
Abdominal thigh. Relax in the pose, but keep the pose. Relax everything. Now tense from the floor up. 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 Now we count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. But don't relax. Yes. Yes. Quarter turn to the right. Yes. Yes. External obliques. Give it to him. From the floor up. Side, chest.
So I just switched sides. Did I do this?
Everything from the floor up. Calf, hamstring, quad, glute, external obliques, chest, rear delt, trap, bi, tri. Count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. But don't relax. Quarter turn to the right.
Wait, face the rear.
Everything tensed from the floor up. Drive those heels through the floor as if you're deadlifting. Flex your calf, hamstring, glute, spinal erectors, lats, traps, rear delts, triceps. From the floor up, now we count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Catch your breath. Rear double bicep. Control. Yep. Everything from the floor up. Feel the floor beneath your feet. One leg back, flex your calf. Come up through your hamstring. Flex your glutes. Spinal erectors, lats, traps, rear delts, bi, tri, even your chest. Now let's count. 1, 2. Keep tensing everything from the floor up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax, but don't relax. Still face through here. Open up, stay hard. Tensing everything from the floor up. From the floor up. All right, open up, stay hard. Semi-relaxed pose from the rear, standing up. Calves, hamstrings, glutes, spinal erectors, lats, traps, rear delts, triceps, everything from the floor up, even your spinal erectors. I like how you're doing that. That's masterful control right there. Okay, rear lat spread. Deliberate with what we do. One leg back. Okay, from the floor up, feel the floor beneath your feet. Flex your calves, hamstrings, glutes, spinal erectors, lats, traps, rear delts, triceps, chest. Open up. Now we count. 1, 2, 3. Open up. 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. But don't relax. Open up, stay hard. Tensing everything from the floor up. Close your eyes. Feel your calves. Feel your hamstrings. Feel your glutes. Connect with them now. This is what all the exercises have been for. Spinal erectors, abs, lats, traps, rear delts, triceps. Flex them hard now. Drive your feet into the floor. I want to see every cross striation. I want to see every ounce of muscle worked for. Every second of conditioning that's been worked and earned should be on display right now. Relax, but don't relax. One leg back, rear double bicep. Drive your feet through the floor. Activate them, calves, hamstrings, glutes, spinal rectus, lats, traps, rear delts. Now we count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. All right, get your water. This is dope. We used to go through 8 rounds of 8 rounds of your quarter turns. Hold them for 8. And then once you're like this,
Go through another 8.
then we start with the mandatories. But here's the thing. Nothing is done to try to knock you off your training. Nothing is done to hurt you. What should happen is while you are posing now, you should be able to develop a deeper connection with the reason that you are training in the first place when you're on the gym floor. You get what I'm saying? The point should be to connect what you're doing on the gym floor with what you are doing now to display the muscle. So to build the muscle and to display the muscle is one and the same. It takes the neurological awareness that you should not be struggling with, whether you're to do a good set on the gym floor or to do a perfect pose right now to show the judges. You get me? So every time you've done a seated calf raise, every time you've done a standing calf raise, that is now immediately put on display when you quarter turn to the right, you're standing from the rear, and you put that one leg back.
Right.
You get, every time you've done a seated calf raise with the deliberateness of purpose to develop your soleus, your calf, right? That's on display when you set up to do every side tricep, every side chest. That's where it starts, from the floor up. Every exercise that you've ever put your heart into developing and training now is being put on display and tested before the judges.
Right.
It's the demonstration of the effort that I've put into this. It is the testament of the fact that what I've done has not been in vain. Every set, every rep. So now we stand here and we start going through just some of these drills that are just to help you more massively command your instrument when it comes down to displaying on stage. This is not to knock you down. It's not to, if anything, it should be designed to help you go forward with this. I should be able to get back on the gym floor now with new connections. Oh shit, that's right, because when I was standing, the other day, that's right. So when and that's what it is. It's this work in process that is continuing.
We're sharpening the blade.
Yeah.
So when we're on stage, you can swing it,
Yes.
and it goes through.
So
nothing like going to battle with a dull blade.
or just leaving your fucking weapons at home.
Right.
What the fuck you doing? Your weapons can't. Your weapons need to be like a carpenter when they go to do a job. They need to have their toolbox. You can't show up. Then your toolbox is in your car over your ex-wife's house, and you on the job.
Got some other problems there.
Yeah, that's a whole lot. Yeah.
got some more issues
Have you
there.
been there before? Has this ever happened to you? But the day of stage, you're getting on stage, you've done all the training, you've done all this dieting, you've done all this extra effort, but now when it comes time to, okay, show it, which means you have to also demonstrate mastery of other tools.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where are the tools? Well, I didn't develop them because I didn't have the time. Yeah, my schedule was so crazy. That's the right answer. Not the right time for that. You get me? If that's the case, then is it worth it to spend your money and your time, your effort to have? Nope. So we come there with our tools online and ready to be used. It doesn't make sense to have the tools and not use them. So now when the color and everything is together, and now you're there on stage, yo man, side chest quarter turn. Well, I would flex it harder, but I really just didn't develop. That's a whole nother level of like, man.
That's regional level shit. We're trying to get to the next one.
And if that is so, then one, understand that we can do that.
Well, what I'm saying is we're talking nationals. This is the show to get to the next level. So the whole I left it at home. I was tired. And that's for regional level shows. That's for, you know, the amateurs. We're not trying to be an amateur anymore.
Wow, you just said something that added a whole nother. Because at this point, then you're expected to. Nobody's gonna ask you, okay, can you want to try that again? Like it's like going on an acting audition, and it's like, I
Forgot my lines.
forgot my line. It's like, okay, well,
He didn't. He's gonna win.
right. They're not gonna say to you, well, listen, I have like 7 other people that have done a little better than you. I don't think that was your best work. Do you want to try this again? Just to, it's kind of not to be mean, but you know, if you had the opportunity then to stop yourself in the past and say, hey, before I even get to that moment, you know, what are some things that I could do to make sure that this doesn't happen to me? That when I arrive to this point and I'm there in this moment and it's time to work, I can do it effectively because I know what to do and I've practiced this 1,000 times. What does that mean? Hey man, what is some things I can do? Hey man, I did this thing 8 times every day the last 2 weeks before. It's not a question of not having energy, because that's what the Mrs. Jones, the average enthusiast that's really not trying to work with the development of any higher ambitions to this game will say, and that would be enough for them, because that's what it is. Sometimes these obstacles or these challenges aren't really just the things that are really fucked up. They're the things that are there that allows you to identify who you are. You know, they say, Bible says we know a tree by the fruit it bears. So listen, man, you know, if you standing there with a whole bunch of bananas, you know, then don't be surprised if people walk up to you and say, hey man, that's a banana bush. You know, or if you're standing there with without any fruit, barren. And it's like, well, what are you? The people that walk up to you, the people that see you, well, I'm sorry, I don't know what do you produce? What do you do? The problem may not be them. It may actually be, well, what the fuck am I showing?
Problem's always you. It's never them. Problem's always from within.
Philosophy. Oh my goodness. Let's go over these quarter turns again. Let's try to do them. Let's do half of 8. We're gonna do 4, and we're gonna knock these shits out one at a time, starting from opening up and staying hard from the front. Get into your pose. Draw your feet through the floor. Calves, quads, abs, chest, lats, traps, rear delts. Get it all together. Pull down, and let's start. 1, 2, picture perfect. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax, but don't relax. Quarter turn to the right. From the floor up, calves, quads, glutes, external obliques, chest, delts, traps, lats, arms. That hiss. We count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Quarter turn to the right. From the floor up, calves, hamstrings, glutes, spinal erectors, lats, traps, rear delts, triceps, pressing. I like that. And we count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Open up. 8. Relax. Quarter turn to the right. Everything from the floor up. Calves, quads, hamstrings, glutes, external obliques, lats, traps, delts, triceps, arms, hiss. And we count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Turn to the right. Open up, stay hard. From the floor up. Front double bicep. Calves, quads, abs, chest, lats, biceps, triceps. Beautiful. count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Front lat spread. From the floor up, calves, quads, abs, chest, lats, arms. Yes. And we count. 1. Control your breathing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Quarter turn to the right, side chest.
Should have been sharpening that sword a little bit more.
From the floor, up, calves, hamstrings, quads, glutes. External obliques, delts, chest, arms. Control your breathing. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Still face that way. You get a side tricep. This way. Yes. Yes. Okay, from the floor up. Calves, quads, hamstrings, glutes, external obliques, chest, delts, traps, finishing your triceps, external oblique. Yes, let's go. Control your breathing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Quarter turn to the right. Open up, stay hard. Press your heels through the floor. Calves, hamstrings, glutes, spinal erectors, lats, traps, rear delts, triceps, chest, rear lat, rear double bicep. Calves, hamstrings, glutes, spinal erectors, lats, traps, rear delts. We count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Everything from the floor up. 8. Relax. Open up, stay hard. Drive your heels through the floor. Glutes, spinal erectors, lats, traps, rear delts, like you're deadlifting. Rear, lat spread. From the floor, up. Calves, hamstrings, both of them. Glutes, both of them. Spinal erectors, both of them. Lats. Open up. Yes. Triceps. Rear delts. Traps. Open up. We count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. But don't relax. Quarter turn to the right. Side tricep. From the floor, up. Calves, hamstrings, quads, glutes, external obliques, delts, chest, traps, triceps last. External obliques. And we count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. But don't relax. Picture perfect. Picture perfect. Look at him. Every time I look at him, every time the judge's eye comes to you, that, wow, he's always, I can't catch him off. I can't find that pose where he's let it go. Masterful control. Masterful control. His performance is impeccable because he works at it. Because this means something to him. Side chest. From the floor up. Calves, hamstrings, quads, glute, 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 external oblique, delta, chest, arms, traps. Control your breathing. Let's count. 1, 2, yes! 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good job. What is heard? Open up, stay hard. Masterful control. Calves, quads, abs, lats. Front double bicep. From the floor up. Calves, quads, abs, chest, lats, delts, bi, tri. Control your breathing. Show me those abs. Masterful control. Doesn't matter if they look up now or 2 seconds from now. They see the same picture. Beauty by no other name. Now we breathe. Now we count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. But don't relax. Front lat spread. From the floor up. No time to be tired. Calves, quads, abs, lats, chest, arms. Open up. Show them this is your best right now. Yup. No tired. Pull those knees to your chest. Show those rectus femoris muscles. Let's go. You worked for them. That's why they're there. Show them. Now we count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. All right, get your water. Dorian Yates used to pose. He said, an hour a day, every day getting ready for the Olympia. And if you were a young athlete coming up at the time, you know, one of the things that I realized was very important was to kind of get an understanding of what it meant when he practiced his posing. See, a lot of people think that posing is just these pretty transitions into something like, oh, and I could do this all day. What they don't realize is that even though it may look like that, it is built on the development of masterful control that is only developed by doing this like we're doing right now. You know, so some of the greats that we've ever got a chance to see that we thought was, when you saw Dorian pose, one of the things that was very important about the way Dorian posed, when you saw him perform at the Olympia, every Olympia, stone. You never saw him needing to be escorted off the stage with an oxygen mask. All of that nonsense that we've gotten a chance to see in other years after that were really a lot more to do with just not preparing. not being very, very, man, practice your posing. Practice your pose. And what does it look like to practice your pose? Not just, well, I'm doing 8 other things at the same time. I'm still talking on Instagram. I'm still, I'm hitting a pose in between. But being very serious about this, and just like this, look at what you have done. You've invested resources into being able to do this right now. And if anybody got a chance to see what this looks like, once you've done what you've done, one of the things they may not understand is, oh wow, this man has invested resources into doing it. This has to look serious. It should not look less than that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the product, once you've done these things, should not look less than that. So even with one of the things that I thought was really, really interesting about athletes that you saw look like they fumbled on stage and athletes that did not, was the hours and hours and hours of practice that was devoted to just practicing. It's one thing to practice your routine. Very different from actually assessing your condition. So a lot of the new fans and enthusiasts of the sport that would later become the athletes of tomorrow and even present day would think they get it all condensed into one and the same. Oh, so when I practice my posing routine, oh, that's when I'm practicing my posing, right? That's when I'm conditioning myself to stand on stage and actually execute my mandatories one at a time like I'm supposed to, with the kind of control and conditioning that allows me not to feel like I'm breaking down in between poses. And before long, they got to fucking have somebody come and help me get off the stage because I'm dehydrated, because I'm sick, because I'm. No, truth is, man, you are really not very well conditioned because you did not prepare properly for this experience. And there's a way to do this. You know what I mean? Going through this 8 times like this on your own is important. I can see that you're already very masterful with your posing. It's obvious. There's not. I see you doing things methodically as it's supposed to be done. You're turning your feet first. You're positioning yourself. You're setting yourself up from the floor up. You open up just enough to highlight the things that really do come alive in your physique when you do. It's not a question of somebody coming in today and saying, hey man, well, you know what? Oh, okay, let me get behind you. Let me try to move your elbow this way. How you feel like it? No. You already have all that stuff. You are a masterful poser already. The thing here is just to practice. You have to. One of the things that
practice more.
Dude.
What I'm doing is not enough.
I was at the no. It's not enough as much as it is. You want to be better.
Yeah.
The only way to improve from what you're doing now is to do it more. That's it.
So what I'm doing is not enough.
No, I'm not. Well,
I'm saying you're not saying that. I'm saying
for somebody else that might be enough. For somebody else. For somebody else to come here today and not have to be, okay, hold on, I'm sorry, man. Like, okay, look at something here. Okay, now can you move your elbow this way? No. Okay, bring your leg. Can you feel this? And then somebody else would need that shit, right? And technically, somebody else a week out from their show would be like, yeah, well, this is okay. I have friends that are like that. Like, you're IFBB pro, and you still haven't in your own travels gotten to a place where you recognize for yourself that should be unacceptable. Right. You know what I mean? But you can't knock them because their expertise and focus is probably somewhere else in the process of their development, which is, I realize, I noticed I'm talking about one person in particular that's in my head right now. Excellent when it comes to the whole numbers and other parts of this game, they talk you under the table. Like, but when it comes to, this is the part I don't like, well, it shows. It does not show with you. It shows that obviously you spent a lot of time and effort into developing yourself to where you are right now, and it is awesome. Awesome. I am very proud of you. Very, very proud of you. Yeah, man. The only way you improve from where you are is to just do it more. Right. But you I feel very, very, very confident going into the show. You said 3 days?
8. A week from today.
A week from today. Okay. Yeah.
So we start pulling back on direct cardio, and I start doing more posing as my cardio.
Yeah, that's yeah, this is good. This is really good. Yeah, man. I would damn, it's like everybody does things differently. I'm one of those people. 6 weeks out though, I found that I could do it, so I did it. You know, I just made that a part of, you know, 6 weeks out from the show, I started tanning every day. And I knew I was going to put on pro tan. I knew I was going to do all of that stuff. And I'm probably going to have to learn some other lessons and make some mistakes with that. Because there's sometimes, for some shows, I've heard, you know, some of the backlash was, hey, you're too dark, or under this lighting, it didn't work as good. And you kind of have to tweak, you know. But one of the things that I left as a standard rule of thumb, because I knew when I went by the regular sunlight, right, you know, whether it was morning time, afternoon, that sunlight, when I tanned like that, didn't matter what angle you caught me. You know, there was a level of conditioning that always it always improved my physique by. You know what I mean? I was able to ride a wave through my entire prep. So every time that I looked in the mirror under that sunlight, there was at least 2 variables that I could control. You know what I mean? That was consistent every time I looked. So when I started trying to make assessments of my condition and stuff, I could look, okay, yeah, this is what it is. Didn't matter whether or not it's, because I can't see it. And then I don't really, you know, subcutaneous water, subcutaneous fat, those things are, but I need to be able to see.
Right.
Like see. And a lot of times,
well, the more time you spend in the sun too, your body gets used to letting go of the water.
Yes, it does. But I didn't do the natural sunlight tanning.
You did the beds.
I got in the tanning bed because I can control that.
Right.
And no
it's
matter
like walking outside versus on the treadmill, you can control the.
Yep, I can control it, and that's it. Now, under my control, I can manipulate things better than right, when there's other things that are outside. It's like going out to eat when you're controlling your diet. It's like I know how much sodium I'm going to put in my food, or that I'm comfortable with having in my food when I eat out.
The steak, you know, it's cooked in butter or oil.
Exactly. And then I can think, oh, well, I could rinse it off. Can you take this back and do something to it? I don't know, spit on it. I don't know. I can't control things that are outside of my control. But the things that I can control, so something like my tanning, I just control that, you know. And it also becomes more time efficient for you, because if it is that, hey man, if I'm getting up an hour earlier to do something to make sure I have my prep and my food and my this and that, and then within that I now have an hour freer in my day, that allows me to free up an hour in my day. So we used to have a tanning bed here. When I first came here, that was like, awesome. That was every gym that had a tanning bed in the gym. That was a secret weapon, dude. That was like.
So I used to tan a lot, but I just got away from it. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe I'll try to go. The problem is, if I start today and I got to burn, a whole water.
Yeah. No, that's not.
It's one of those. If I go, I might go for a minute today, see how I feel. Might go for 2 minutes tomorrow.
Your last 2 weeks before dude, there's so many things that could go wrong with that. I wouldn't even want to be responsible for that. Yo, fuck to be.
I'll tell you what, my pro debut, 6 weeks out, I'll start tanning. I'll take your advice on that one.
You know what? Then during your off season, play with it, because you might discover.
Well, I used to tan a lot.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, my nickname when I was a kid was Mowgli, because I was a blonde and I was brown.
Oh,
because I spent all my time in the sun. Yeah, so I tan really easy.
Oh.
Surprisingly.
So you don't have any issues with, like, you know, some people, as soon as I start talking about it, they're like, yeah, well, you know, my cousin and cancer, and like, oh, well, forget that I ever said anything, because I don't want to be responsible for.
I grew up in Miami on the beach, pretty much.
Ah.
So sun, always. Yeah. We got cancer in my family, none of it's skin.
Oh, man. Yeah. Dude, you look good, man.
Thank you.
You look really, really good. This is, yeah. I'd be very, very excited about this coming weekend.
That means a lot coming from you, because you know, the last week could be a little, especially when you're depleted. You look at yourself and it's like, fucking shits. So hearing that from you is very uplifting and give me some good momentum going into this week.
You know, so I've seen at times where I wasn't able to even get as focused as I thought I was real focused at the beginning of my prep, and then at times, you know, like in the middle, I thought I was like, I just need to just leave my job. I just want to work. I just want to train right now. I don't want to be bothered, and you know, cut off the girlfriend. And I'm just like, I thought I was focused.
I did that.
But then that last like
week or two,
where it was like, where I thought I was focused before. There was all this new opportunity to discover a new resource into myself and the management of my day that I believe also just came as a product of every step that I had made 2 weeks ago, a month ago, it almost became like this inertia effect. That now, as I got closer, it just seemed as if I was now able to discover new stuff that I could do that was just, with so much more ease. And for now, what I realized in the process was like, okay, these are things that I have to remember to set up my prep with next time, not a week out, but like, okay, so if I'm able to experience this here, right here, this last 2 days where I'm like, okay, I fly on Sunday, but here I am on the Thursday, and it's like that Thursday, everything is going. I get up to have my meal, I did my cardio, I look in the mirror, everything is like rolling with this efficiency that's the product of all of the extra stuff that I've done, the last 2 weeks. But now, right now, the way this feels, the way it's happening, I would love to be here when I'm 6 weeks out as opposed to a week out, And if I am, how much better am I able to improve my game, and I'm saying this to you because as you are talking about getting to that hump and then going to be on the other side of it, I'm just like, my pro debut, how do I improve? Where do I begin? I'm saying to you, take notice of this now, because this is the answer. The answer is in the living experience. Right. You're going through this right now, and it's like, oh shit, wow, this is dope. It's a great piece of information. Where do I apply it? You're going to need this on the other side.
Well, for me, I apply it to my clients too, the people I help. So this was not just for me, but it's also to pass on to the people that I'm helping too. So like the knowledge I get from you when we sit down to talk right now, it's stuff that I take in and digest, and I try to feed it to the people that I'm helping by way of whatever, their check-ins or.
He said, "Hey, I learned something here. Let me help you out with this."
But the analogy I have for what you're saying is it's discipline's like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. And those little things that create the inertia and the momentum, it's just discipline compounded on itself, and that increases exponentially over time.
That can make the difference between you getting to your pro status and then, looking at, well, now what? Versus you looking at getting to your pro status and going, oh shit, I didn't even scratch the surface yet.
New pond, little fish.
Yeah. Yeah, and everywhere you choose to see the benefit of this kind of thinking, you will realize it. It's one of those things where like, it's like the presence of mind is enough that now once it's been called to your attention, everywhere you choose to look, you can find it because you can create it to be there. It's like someone turning around and saying to you, well, there was a time I didn't have a car. I used to live in New York. I didn't think I needed one. And I spent so much time just dealing without one that, I accepted the reality of just not really ever having a car. But then one day, let's say Uncle so-and-so says, hey, you know what, listen, you should be thinking about getting a car, Kai, because, you have some other responsibilities coming up, and maybe, you're painting, you want to travel, you want to transport some things, maybe help you get it a little more efficiently back and forth to your work and stuff. Yeah, I don't know, Uncle, maybe I'll see what I can afford. Find out, well, I got a budget, $1,200, okay, maybe $2,400. I got $2,400, I can afford a car. It's like, but I look through the one ads, whatever, I can't really find nothing that fits my budget. You know what? And then suddenly Uncle so-and-so says he has a friend, and they actually are getting rid of this car. They for $2,100. It's within your budget, barely used, the speed or mileage is whatever. It's a red Ford. Okay. Now, mind you, because I didn't really look at cars much before that, and I didn't really pay attention. But now it seems like I'm coming home from school or whatever, and I look to the side at the red light, and oh shit, there's a red Ford. Oh wow, wait, hold on. I'm not even 2 blocks away, and I'm looking somewhere else. There's a green Ford, and there's a gray Ford. In fact, I start to turn around, and before I know it, I start to discover Fords are all around me. Now, funny thing is, Ford is probably at one time a very economically sold car that possibly was a good year and, probably did very, very well in sales. And as a result, it might have been very, very easily explained as to why there would have been so many Boy, these are car manufacturers that make billions of dollars for selling, this car. But I never noticed it. It was not in my world of view or anything until I am, and now it's been called to my attention, and then now everywhere it seems that I look, I can find Ford. And I think the same thing happens with like our ability to become successful at chipping away at developing the resources that we say we want when we really want them. There's like this other consciousness that's always with us, and it's always accessible.
Not everybody's tapped into it though.
Not exactly. Exactly, and it's through our effort, through our goals, through the willingness of working,
painstaking work, yep,
that allows us to kind of tune in and find that right frequency that technically, oh shit, I noticed anything I want, I'm able to do when I really want to get it done. This right here, yeah, man. So when you're there and you're saying, I'm on this other side, I'm trying to get ready for what the fuck do I do to improve my game? It's happening right now. Everything that you're being exposed to right now. So if you're keeping your notebook, if you're keeping your, just put a pin in that, because shit. Here's one way to improve my game by 50%. The things that I were able to realize now, once I am now in full, inertia mode, where I'm like, I'm on the other side of the hill. I'm going, wow, I'm gonna steamroll right through this. This stuff is great. I need to take some of this, put it in a bottle, and keep this with me when I am on the other side or in the next throes of building myself up to, and I'm going up the hill. I'm like, well, what were some of those things that I used that were able to help me, but I was able to steamroll through this, because you can use them, and those things will help you leapfrog into places like, oh shit, yeah, I was excited. What did I do? Yeah, but I was also stressing my girlfriend and all that stuff, and I learned to stop arguing. I learned how to start getting out of my own way. And
so it's I journal every morning.
You do? Yeah. See, this dude is like, he's a master's class. And
I do, great 3 things I'm grateful for. What did yesterday teach me, and how do I feel about today? And then if I want to write something else, I write that. But those are the 3 bullet points I hit every day. So there'll be some what did I learn yesterday's tomorrow.
This 8 times?
Yeah. So I have a timer, and it goes 10 seconds with a 6-second interval. So every night, every other night, I do 20 minutes, 10 seconds, 6 seconds to get into the next pose, 10 seconds, 6 seconds to get into the next pose. But it's a little different when you have somebody glutes, this, that. So I'm going through the checklist in my head, but if I let something slack and I don't feel it, so it's my conditioning needs to be better. I need to improve on it, but having someone like you, I posed with Blessings and Sam the other day, like having someone kind of there calling out definitely helps. So I appreciate this, you spending your time with me here to relay some knowledge and push me through it.
When you go back to deadlifting, and stiff-legged deadlift, leg curl, being able to remember planting your foot on the floor when posing, when going. It's not even like trying to even talk about pretty poses or what's a pretty pose for a minute. No. Just the basics of being able to put my feet down, turn my toes out, bend my knee and dip my pelvis so I can start to activate, whether it's my quads or my hamstrings more or less. That is critical. Like, it's one of those basic fundamental steps that are like, a lot of people deadlift for years and are never able to realize the correlation between what they're doing on the gym floor and what you need to be doing when you're posing. Going through your quarter turns.
So how I correlate this with all my bikini girls, there's a specific style of deadlift that I have them do. And both the ones that are better at posing, I tell them to go into their back pose. The ones that are better at lifting, I tell them to do their deadlifts while they're posing. Because they have to do this thing. So it's the external rotation of the femur, and then digging the toes in. So I'm like, all right, cool. That's how you get your glute tie-in to pop out, and it's the same thing. So you're using analogies that I use just in a better way. So I appreciate that.
Dude, I spoke to Blessing for a year talking about gripping the floor. I didn't say it like you just said. You just said that right there. I'm taking that. You just taught me something.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the external rotation of the femur. Dude,
Yeah,
your toe.
it clicks
That's
on the
what's
glute.
up. See, I came up here. Ah. Each one teach one. You get me? That is, dude, that's... And you know that.
Every now and then I know a thing or two.
No. This is... So putting it together and allowing yourself to use it. You know, you meet a million people that will be able to tell you all day, and then it's like, okay, well, what you doing? Where you going with it? You know, they'll stand there from the sidelines and heckle everybody all day, and it's like, okay, well, you know, hey man, why don't you just take up your shit and stand up here and let's see what you got? And it's like, oh, well, and then suddenly the excuses and the
keyboard warriors.
I don't really, so that means you don't really know, because there's something about knowing. It comes from doing. If you're not doing, you don't know. You get what I'm saying? You just don't know. You could have read about it in a book, but if you ain't doing it, you don't know. You always need to leave that X when you draw out the equation for what you don't know.
It's like music. You should play it like this. Cool, show me. Oh, I don't know how to play guitar. I don't know how to sing. Cool, then shut the fuck up. Sit your ass down.
But when you do, and when you're prepared to do, when you're training yourself to do, then there's immediately the ability to question, but not question for the sake of arguing, but with the intent to discover and to learn. And, you know, immediately as you were saying that, you know, external rotation, yo man, that's, oh shit, this is it. This is what's up. Yeah, you're probably getting cold and shit. Yeah. But, dude, I appreciate this opportunity today, man.
I appreciate it.
Dude.
Mind if we get a picture, actually? Just for the YouTube?
What?